Alright everybody, so it's time to actually have a quick recap, otherwise things are gonna be too much actually. Alrighty, so let's really just go through the things really quick and see exactly how the things are working over here, and then we'll be getting the things done. So talking about the things so far, things have been pretty simple, especially the things that I got done today itself. I'm gonna be mainly talking about them. So far, two users got connected, right? And once the user actually, let's even go through all the files directly, like really quick. We are creating the room, so room related types are here. So create room, destroy room, join room. Again, we will be joining the room, so there's gonna be a request, and once we have joined the room, we are gonna be notifying the user as well, like okay, we have joined the room, and that is why we have this notify over here. We will be exiting the room, and mainly we will be requesting to exit the room, and maybe sometimes if we are just simply exiting the room, we will be notifying the other user. So this notify we have here. And lastly, room disconnection. If we reload the page, or if we just simply close the web browser, so at that time this room disconnection will be used. So these are the things that we actually have over here. And same goes to this one inside modules and constant.js. Same things I have here. The only thing is that I have labels here, and there are gonna be two labels: normal server process and WebRTC process. Normal server process in the sense when you are just working with the user, connecting to each other via WebSocket, and WebRTC process means when you actually start working with the WebRTC stuff. That means you are getting the RTC peer connection ready, or once both the users are getting connected via WebRTC, at that time this particular thing is going to be used. As for the right now, we haven't really used it yet. We will be using it in future. So this particular thing is done. Then inside app.js, let's go through the things really quick. It should not be taking a lot of time. First of all, we have connections over here, we have rooms over here, we have the port number, we have the app, the express. This simply allows everything inside public to be accessible. So I'm just simply making everything static inside public, as simple as that. Then creating a HTTP server. That HTTP server is given app, as simple as that. And then using that app, ultimately express, I'm just simply I have these two routes over here, three routes ultimately, and they are doing their jobs. First one is for rendering the static HTML file, second one is for creating the file, third one is for destroying the creating the room and destroying the room, as simple as that. Will not be going through them a lot because I've already gone through them a lot. And now creating a WebSocket server, and once the WebSocket is server created, once the connection is ready, I'm simply handling the connection. Then I'm adding the connection as well, and extracting the user ID. Again, you can get the user ID from the request that you actually get inside the WebSocket, and then handling the disconnection, handling the message. Again, all these functions are used inside this handle connection only. So over here I'm actually using all these things, but not gonna be talking much about them because we've talked about them enough. Then we have normal server related functions over here. First of all, we have normal server process. So normal server process in the sense when the user is joining, right? So at that time this particular function will be called, and that time I'm simply checking the data whether the user is joining or the exiting or anything else, and on the basis of that data I will be joining the user or I will be exiting the user, as simple as that. So these things are done. Then joining the related code is here, exiting related code is here. As for now, I'm just gonna be just simply having a look over overall look, that's it. And then send the socket message to user. This is a WebRTC server generic function. Ultimately what happens that once the user actually joins, you notify the other user that okay, this user has joined and all, and that is why you are just simply notifying the user. So send a WebSocket message to the user. It will be used every time. So suppose if you want to send any message to any user, so if you have the user ID, using this particular function you can just simply send the message to the particular user, and this will be this is a generic function. Let me even make some space over here, just like this. This is gonna be generic function. That means you can use it anywhere whenever you need to just send any message to the user via WebSocket. You just need to have the user ID, send to user ID, that's it. And then at the end of the day you are just simply running the server over here, and now your WebSocket server is running on the same port as your HTTP server. So both HTTP server and WebSocket server are running on localhost on 8080 port, and you can just simply send the request to the WebRTC, and done, that's it. So this is the overall thing. After that, if I go to here, and mainly the most important thing is inside, this is the main, yeah, this is the one. Inside this main.js, first of all I'm initializing the UI, so anything related to UI is happening inside that. And overall if we have a look at this, so first of all we are initializing the UI, we are even exporting all the stuff related to DOM, especially if we need to access the DOM elements outside this particular file. And then we are setting up the models, no need to worry about them. Not even this creator to proceed room, whenever the user actually joins, right, user created the room. At that time, this particular function will be called to just simply change the UI stuff. Exit room will be for exiting. Joiny to proceed to room. So once a user actually joins the room, at that time this particular function will be called to change the interface so that the interface actually looks like user has joined the room. Then update creators room. Like once the user any peer 2 has actually joined the room, at that time user 1, there are gonna be some changes in the UI, and that's what it is handling. And then update UI for remaining users. This is interesting. Update UI for remaining users. This is mainly going to be called when you actually exit the room. So when you join the room, at that time this particular function will be called for you. This particular function will be called for the user who actually created the room. When you leave the room, this particular function will be called. Ultimately, you are playing with the UI related stuff. UI related stuff in the sense you will be hiding some of the things. So you are just simply saying a user has left, because once you leave the room, state you will be changing the state and all, and message container inner HTML you are just simply rendering this particular message. Have to add more logic later related to WebRTC and all, because of course user has left, but overall this is the thing that happens. Okay, then we have custom logger over here, works quite well. And then we have update UI button. Just simply give it the button, simply give it the message, and it will just simply update the UI. The thing is that this is mainly used when you actually click on a button. So once you clicked on a button, you should know that this button is clicked. Now you don't have to click on this button again, and that's why I created this particular function. So over there this will be used. Again, you can click on the button again many times, but it is not recommended. Just know the flow that okay, this button should be clicked first and then this, so that you don't get the error. Because I'm not actually disabling the buttons. This could also have been done, but okay, never mind, later we will focus on that. But ultimately you have to keep the flow in mind. Like after this you have to click this. So main.js initialize UI is done. After that, creating a WebSocket connection on the client side. Once that is done, all the register socket events are inside this. So it doesn't matter which event, handle close, handle error. Similarly, join room, if you want to join the room, right? So you can join the room by clicking on the join button. So this particular join function will be called, and inside this you are just simply giving the room name and user ID. The thing is simple. As soon as you click on the join room, this particular function will be triggered. You are gonna be giving user ID and room name, and that's it. Using the WebSocket, the user will be sent, the data will be sent. So you are just simply getting the user WebSocket connection, and you are just simply sending the room. Sending the WebSocket request to the WebSocket server from the client side. Similarly, exit room, you can exit the room, and when you are joining the room or when you are exiting the room, at that time the request should be bi-directional. Bi-directional in the sense you have to send the request to the server, then server will send the response back to you as well as the other user, and that is why we are using the WebSocket over here. And when we created the room and when we actually destroyed the room, at that time we don't really need destroyed. So we can only destroy the room when there is no user, there's only me. Okay, at that time I can destroy the room. That simply means I don't have to notify the other user, and while creating the room I'm gonna be only one in the room, and that is why I don't have to notify the other user. That is why I use the HTTP server over there. Having said that, it's not like you cannot use WebSocket server. Of course you can use WebSocket server, but it's better to use a HTTP server when you are just going in one direction. You are just simply sending the request to the server, and server is sending response back to you. But when you have to go to bi-directional or multi-directional, it can be multi-directional as well. Like bi-directional, let's stick with this. So whenever you have to make a bi-directional request, at that time we are using WebSocket over here. So these are mainly for outgoing in the sense I'm gonna be joining the room, so outgoing request. I'm gonna be exiting the room, so outgoing request, and then some messages I will be getting. So over here I have incoming message related functions. So handle message in the sense over here I am listening for the incoming message, and this is the function that I have created, and inside this particular function I will be getting the incoming event, and from that event I will get the data. I will just simply pass the data. Once the data is passed, you can just simply get the things done. So this is how the things are actually happening. Normal server process, and then join success handler. If the user successfully joins, then this particular function is gonna run. Okay, join notification handler. Okay, this is mainly gonna be running when the user joins successfully. So if the user joins successfully, so this particular function run, and this particular function will notify the other user. So as I said, WebSocket is bi-directional. So one request will come to you as a response. At that time this particular function will be running. One response will be going to the other user, and at that time this notification handler will be running. And lastly, we have exit notification handler. If the user actually leaves the room, then we have to send the notification to the other user that the one peer has actually left the room, and at that particular situation this particular function will be running. Simple, easy peasy. And these functions are like they are run on a condition, like on the basis of the type they have. So if that is the success type, room join success type, so this will be running. Failure, then this will be running. Okay, if we are notifying, then this will be running, especially room join notification, room exit notification, room disconnect notification. So on the basis of the types that I'm actually sending from my WebSocket server side, I'm gonna be running or triggering all these client functions, WebRTC functions that I have actually created. Okay, so this particular thing is done, success is done, that's it. Overall things I am done with. And UI utils, I have related code to that only. Stata and Ajax, there are gonna be two things, create room and destroy room. So far so good. And then we started working on this really important stuff, WebRTC handler. And inside this WebRTC handler, we have PC, we have data channel. PC in the sense peer connection. Data channel, of course, the kind of data you wanna send and receive. All the related code is gonna be inside this one. And then I have WebRTC configuration. WebRTC configuration in the sense I have some Eastern servers. What is the use of them? Eastern server, you just simply send a request and they just simply return you the response with your public ID, and you will have your private ID with 4 things. More than that, but overall 4 things are gonna be important: private ID, private port, private ID, IP address, and public IP address, public port number. I mean, you just get all these things from the server at Eastern servers, and that is why you are using them over here. So this particular thing is done. And then we have start WebRTC process. This should mainly be triggered when the user actually joins the room successfully. We will be even talking about that. And this is how the things are gonna be going on. So ultimately we have start WebRTC, then create a peer connection object, create data channel, and then register data channel event listener. When they are gonna be used, let's talk about them one by one. So as soon as the user actually joins the room successfully, when the user actually joins the room successfully, mainly here join success handler. So I'm getting many things done here. I'm just simply changing the state, I'm simply changing the UI as well. Lastly, at this point in time, I'm just simply starting my WebRTC process. WebRTC process in the sense both the users are connected right now via WebSocket. It's time to get them connected via WebRTC, and let's simply start this thing. Somewhere it needs to be started, right? So this is where it is. And then I'm simply starting this WebRTC process. Once the WebRTC process is actually started, I'm simply logging it again. And then there are gonna be 2 things. Look, on a real application, what happens as soon as the user joins, okay, both the user are connected via WebSocket, then this WebRTC process will automatically be triggered, and all the things are gonna be running step by step. Okay, first of all, PC object is going to be created, then the data channel is going to be created, then once the data channel is actually created, then the offer is gonna be created, then offer is gonna be added. I mean, ultimately all the things are gonna be happening one by one. Kind of, I can say, forgot the name of that. Okay, let's keep it like this. All the things will happen one by one, okay, synchronously. And right now we are using buttons over here so that we actually know that, okay, this thing happens first, and then this happens, and this happens, and ultimately this is the flow. And keep this flow in mind, and whenever you write your main logic for any application, at that time you have to just go through this way. So what we are doing over here, first of all, we are creating the offer, creating the PC, kind of creating the peer connection. Once the peer connection is created, we are creating the data channel. Ultimately these are the things that we are getting done over here. That's it, nothing else. Ultimately so far only these 2 things are done. First of all, I created my peer connection. Once the peer connection is ready, I'm creating my data channel. And data channel is especially for the type of data that I actually want to receive or send from my side, and that kind of data is gonna be mentioned, as simple as that. So let's talk about this exactly. When I click on the button, and like when I click on a button for creating a PC in the sense peer connection, what happens? So first of all, I have a simple another function here that simply does the job, and I'm notifying the other user as well. Okay, your connection has been created, peer connection has been created. Now you can just simply, in the next step, what you can do, in the next step you can just simply add the type of your data sends to your PC object, and for that thing we will be creating the data channel, right? And then we are logging the value as well. Don't need to worry about it. The important thing is this, and these are the extra stuff that I'm doing. The important thing is this, that as soon as I clicked on this button, this particular function got triggered, and this function is actually just simply creating the peer object, as simple as that. Keep in mind that we have the peer connection and data channel globally available over here, so we can just change them anytime. And over here, if I actually have a look at this particular create peer connection object, so we are doing nothing. First of all, this connection is created using this particular class that we have, RTC peer connection. This is available, so we can just simply initialize it over here, and once it is actually instantiated and you got the object, you are just simply assigning it to the PC peer connection variable, and that's it. You are even giving it the configurations that you have created. Inside the configurations, you are just simply mentioning the instance servers that will be used when they are needed, and that's it. Once your peer connection is done, that's it. After that, you can just have some of the event listener that your peer connection is ready. Right now, you will be having two event listeners mainly over here. First one is connection state change. It will simply tell you about the connection state, like okay, peer connection got ready. What is the state of the connection between peer 1 and peer 2? And then signaling state, this is also going to be used. By default, signaling state is going to be stable, and as soon as you start adding the offer to the local host, not local host, local description, this will change as per that. So let's first of all discuss about this. So connection state, if the connection state is connected, at that time I have to let the user that okay, you are connected right now. It can be new connection when it comes to connection state. So connection state can be new, connection state can be connecting, connection state can be connected, and we have to mainly take care of connected. Like once the connection is connected, like both the users are connected, that's what I'm mentioning over here. A WebRTC connection has been made between you and the other user. So once the connection is actually established between two users, peer 1 and peer 2, then I'm just simply gonna be rendering this particular UI related stuff. Later I will be getting some more things done, like later we'll have to update UI to remove all learning buttons and allow users to insert text. Okay, we will be just simply sending the text using WebRTC, crazy stuff, but okay. Later I will be working on the video calling system, definitely, for sure. But for now, okay, never mind, let's continue. So this particular thing is done. Okay, apart from this particular thing, we have signaling state. It simply tells you about the signaling thing. It can be stable, it can be two more, like I forgotten the name, but related to local description and related to a remote description. It just keeps changing, and it turns out that I'm not really doing anything else. I'm just simply rendering that okay, what kind of PC signal state I have right now. So as I said, it can be stable. It can, if once you have added a offer to the local description, it will be like local description related. I've forgotten the name. Let me even check out the name exactly what that is. I'm creating the notes meanwhile, so I can just simply have a look at that quickly. And that's gonna be events. Inside the events, I should have that. Okay, this can be have local offer and have a remote offer. It's just as simple as that. So this signal can be anything: stable, have local offer, have remote offer, and you can. It will only be have local offer when your offer is actually saved in local description. It will be have remote offer only when your offer or remote answer, I must say, is actually remote offer is actually saved inside the remote offer. Quite too much. Yeah, I get it. But yeah, this is how the things go on. Ultimately, the better you understand it, the better you will be able to work on this, and let's see how it's gonna be going on. The main goal is to actually create a WhatsApp like application using this WebRTC functionality and all. But God knows what's gonna happen next. But definitely I'm not gonna give up. Okay, so this particular thing is done, this particular thing is done, and lastly I'm just simply even returning it that okay, done bro, you have successfully created a PC object and all. So this is done, that's it. You don't really need to worry about it. So PC object got created, and once the PC object is actually got created, the second thing that we have to worry about, that is creating the data channel. So you have created your PC object. Inside PC object you have even you are listening to two events on connection state, and the second is signaling state and all. These are the two events that you are actually listening, and on the basis of them you will be getting some of the things done. And lastly you are creating the data channel, and when it comes to creating the data channel, so at that time inside this you are just simply using create data channel function, and this is true. True stands for offerer. So over here true is mainly for offerer in the sense the person who has created the what can I say, peer connection, that is going to be the offerer, kind of who is actually instantiating it, and who's actually creating the data channel and all. ultimately that's gonna be the offerer. It has no relation with the people joining the room. Any person can join the room. Ultimately, as soon as you join the room, your WebRTC peer connection gets ready, and if I am not wrong, the person who actually gets the WebRTC peer connection, ultimately peer connection, WebRTC peer connection ready, that is called the offerer, and the other person is gonna be the offeree. I do need to dig deeper a little more into it, but overall this is the understanding that I have. I will be definitely cross validating it, and then let's see whether I'm actually right or not. For now, the person who actually created the peer connection is gonna be the offerer, the another one is gonna be the offeree, and then let's see what's gonna happen. Alrighty, and when it comes to this, so I'm gonna be creating the channel. For creating the channel, I'm gonna be checking whether the offerer is trying to create the data channel or the offeree is trying to create the channel. If the offerer is trying, that means we have to create the data channel. If the offeree is trying, offeree can easily get the data channel using the PC object, so it doesn't need to worry about that. How will it get the data channel using the PC object? It will get it via PC object, because it will be sent. I'll be sending the data channel related information, like offerer will be sending the data channel related information to the other peer, and the other peer can just simply access that. It does not need to create the data channel again, and that's why I have this if else statement over here. So only need to create a data channel once when an offer is established, and that's what I'm saying, that once you have created the offer, create the data channel once, and the another peer, that peer does not need to create the data channel again, rather it can just simply access this data channel. To mimic UDP, this is just the extra stuff. If you wanna mimic the UDP in the sense, once the data is lost, you will not be that first of all that will not be in the ordered manner, and second thing is that you cannot retransmit that. It will not be resend once it's gone, so gone, and that is why the number is of max retransmits is 0. And I'm creating the data channel over here. So PC create data channel. Again, offerer is creating this. This is just a name. I mean, what is the use of even this name? I'm not even quite sure. Top secret chat room. This is just a name of this particular room, and then I have executed. We are dealing with the offeree. That means the person who's actually getting that. The receiver needs to again, this is gonna be the receiver. The receiver who's actually receiving the request, kind of request, WebRTC request from the offerer side. The receiver needs to register the on data channel listener. This will only fire once a valid WebRTC connection has been established. As simple as that. This particular event that I'm talking about, this particular else statement I'm talking about, this will only fire when the WebRTC connection is ready. And that's the only way, because if the WebRTC connection is not ready, how can the offeree get the data channel, right? Your offerer created the data channel, offerer has the data channel, offerer doesn't need to worry about it. But when it comes to offeree, the second peer, the another person, that person will not have the access of the data channel until unless a proper WebRTC connection is ready. Once the WebRTC connection is ready, then that person can actually get it on PC on data channel. This will only be called when the channel is WebRTC connection is ready, and if the WebRTC connection is ready, you will be getting an event. Inside that event, you will be getting channel. Inside that particular channel, you will have the data channel that was created by the offerer, and right now that will be available for the offeree over here, and you can just simply assign to a variable called data channel, and that's it. You don't really need to worry about it, and done. So this is how things are gonna be going ahead. Lastly, you are just simply listening to some of the events once everything got done. So as you got the data channel, you are listening to the message event, close event, open event. Message event in the sense you are just simply checking what kind of message you actually got from the offerer side or from the offeree side, depends. It can be bi-directional definitely. And then we have the close event. If it got closed, we have the open event. Like, okay, once it is actually open, that means we can send and receive the messages. Once it is closed, then closed is closed, we can't really do anything. And if it is equals to message, that means messages are coming in all. That's right. I mean, that is it. We don't really need to worry about anything else. So ultimately that was it that I wanted to actually discuss. There's a lot, I know. Sometimes it does get hectic, but this is the magic of learning WebRTC. Having said that, how long has it been? I have no idea. 139. Overall goal is gonna be this, like at least in a day for 2 hours I have to go through WebRTC section. Once I've gone through that, then I have to if I feel like going through it more, I can go through it. Otherwise I have to switch to the other subject, I must say. Other subject in the sense there are many pending projects that I have to work on. So now after a few minutes in the sense 10 to 20 minutes, I'll be back, and then let's start working on some of the remaining projects that we have. And this is how we are gonna be going ahead. Until then, take care and see you soon. Bye bye.